Hello, Diet Rebel Scum and Diet Rebel Scum Curious. Diet Rebel Scum being those of us who have said hell no to the government recommended food pyramid, that high carb, low fat thing. We don't believe in that. We believe in high fat, low carb. Well, I'm out on the porch in the backyard of my parents' house. This is the house I grew up in. It's very loud out here. It's all, well, we're not too far from an airport. Airport's about 2 miles or so that way. There's a lot of locusts. This is the sounds of summer. I'm pretty darn heat acclimated these days. I run in the heat of the day and in the sun, shirtless when I can, get all the vitamin D I can get. It's my regular practice. I thought I'd just do a quick video out here, just do a little bit of random thoughts. I'm going to be kind of specific on this one. It's a sensitive subject. And I usually shy away from being a little too pointed about it, because it's easy to offend people, and I don't want to be offensive. I mean, I do, but I don't. I mean, I want to appeal to everybody. I want to say offensive things, but in a very non-offensive way, because I don't care what people say to me. I'm not going to get offended. I mean, I may get offended, but I'm not going to excommunicate anybody. What I don't want is excommunication. I want to keep dialogue open. But the subject I'd like to talk about is the medical care system, pretty much Western medicine. After the last few years of what we all went through, let me know that pretty much all of Western medicine is kind of the same. Not run exactly the same, but let's just say the level of corruption. It's that no Western industrialized country is immune to the corruption in the medical system. So I kind of talked about it a little bit in my last video about do you trust, it's hard to trust the medical system. So I guess I'm already knee deep in it, so I might as well just keep going with it. And one thing I always struggle with is it on purpose? Now, with some people, yes, it sure is. No doubt about it. When doctors lie about drugs, their efficacy, their safety, a drug that was once regarded as really safe suddenly becoming evil overnight. When doctors are saying that sort of thing and government officials start saying that, completely doing a complete 180, for no apparent reason, it's really hard to trust those people again, because once I hear stuff, I can't unhear it. That's a real problem. And what's really crazy is the amount of people who saw everything I saw on a day-to-day basis over the last several years and still trust everybody. Well, not everybody. They still trust the people who did 180s, 180-degree flips on very, very important things with no explanation. The term I learned the term mass formation psychosis over the last few years. There's like books written about the subject, and we witnessed that. I witnessed it for damn sure. It's scary. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's stuff from Hollywood. You don't only expect that kind of stuff in movies. But there, in my very late 40s and early 50s, I witnessed it. The NPC is a term that's bantered around here. I don't know how wide it is. in other countries, but here in the United States, a lot of us on our side, we talk about NPCs, non-player characters. If you don't know what an NPC is, it's video game terminology. So it's like when we call somebody an NPC, it's somebody they just do they say what they're programmed to say, nothing more, nothing less. It's like they were given their programming instructions and that's what they do. And where it comes into video games is, let's say like a long time, all these adventure games kind of have them, is let's say like World of Warcraft or any other game where you're going through a three-dimensional world, or it doesn't have to be 3D, but you go and your character buys things, and then there's like you're carrying items, and you get to go to a store in a village, and there's a person there that works at the store, and you can buy and sell things to that, to that clerk in the store. Well, the clerk greets you as you come in the door. Says, hello, how can I help you? Whatever they say in their video game. But that is a non-player character. That store clerk's always there, 24/7, no matter when you're playing. He always says the same thing. Maybe he's programmed to say a few variations of it to maybe make it a little more interesting. But that is a non-player character. It's not another human. It can't make wild decisions and do things out of the ordinary. It does what that character says exactly what it's programmed to say, nothing more, nothing less. And we witness people like that. They watch the news, medical news, and just believed it all. If it needed to wildly change, and here's one thing I've seen these memes on Facebook trying to explain away this non-player character behavior. I remember seeing one, and it said something like, when science changed, let's see, how did it go? I wished I had saved it. I probably screenshot it, and it's, 300 pictures back in my phone. It's like, when the science changes, science didn't lie to you. Science got smarter, or it learned more. Therefore, it changed its statement or whatever. Okay, but the key word there, I probably messed that up a bit. It's not word for word, but one word that is accurate that I'm making sure I get right. Is it saying science didn't lie to you? Okay. Well, people in our neck of the woods, or with our view of life, worldview, we don't have beef, and that's that we don't have a problem with science. We know science doesn't lie. That meme specifically related to science, and that's on purpose, because that meme is meant to mislead you. It's putting words in your mouth, and it's trying to plant a thought that you don't have. Our problem is not with science lying. It's with the people that call themselves scientists. Science doesn't lie. People lie. It's scientists that lie to get funding. They may lie because they're told to, ordered to, by people that fund them. That's the danger. We need whistleblowers. We need truth in science. We need transparency in science. We need honesty, integrity with science, in science. When scientists start censoring other scientists, or government officials start censoring other scientists, when doctors, MDs, PhDs, MD PhDs, when all these wizards of smart are piping up and crying foul and saying, hey, that's not right. Look, hey, they changed the definition of a word there, very important word. When scientists rise up and are trying to maintain the integrity and truthfulness and transparency in the scientific world, and they get shamed, deplatformed, debanked, license yanked, all for things they're saying. That's a problem, okay? And that I had a problem with right away, back when the last giant fiasco started. It got my antennas up, and my ears really perked up because I was seeing people getting silenced right away, videos disappearing off of video platforms, press conferences with doctors that were whistleblowing right from the get-go that there were some very unethical things happening that they were being ordered to do. Oh dear, I have to answer that later. So when doctors start getting silenced, threatened, their licenses yanked, and then a year or two later, it starts becoming undeniable. They were right. And then suddenly they're not in trouble anymore, quietly. They're back on the scene. You're seeing them publish things. You're seeing them speak out. And it's all okay now for them to say what they're saying, because it got to be where you couldn't not see it anymore. That's a real problem with the medical system. You know, that's why people that call people quacks, you know, for wanting natural remedies for things, or, you know, a natural remedy doesn't mean you're curing something with some, you know, native African plant or something like that, some exotic chemical or whatever that you're digging up under a rock. I mean, I'm sure there's some of that out there, you know, and probably most of it, I don't trust a lot of that stuff either. But when it comes to like the carnivore diet, eating our natural native food, things that we could possibly have eaten 100,000 years ago, before machines, before there were many tools. You know, living naturally is not snake oil salesman stuff. We're not pitching. I mean, hey, there are some carnivores that are that make money on supplements and stuff like that. That's, you know, hey, that's going to happen with everything. You know, people want to make a living. People want to make some money. It's just, hopefully what they're selling, there's some truth to, some benefit to what they're selling. Hopefully at least no harm, which is a hell of a lot better than what we can say about our medical system, because the do no harm seems to have gone right into the toilet. This is probably the most candid I've spoken out about this sort of subject, but I feel very strongly about it. Integrity. Medicine needs integrity, transparency, honesty. So this guy, I've mentioned him a few times. I'll just do this a real crude way, but I've really fallen in love with this guy's content. I guess it disappeared. Dr. Reese. Dr. Reese, I'm just going to pull him up here. Dr. Reese. See if I can get something here. Because when I need it to pop up in my feed, there we go. This guy.
Your farmer is way smarter than your doctor.
Yeah, this one.
You see, farmers have reversed chronic diseases in their...
So this particular one, I'm glad this came up, because this is what almost sparked me to come out here and make this video. Well, the sun is setting and I'm running out of light, so this is getting very grainy. Sorry about that. Hope at least the audio is good. He says your farmers are much smarter than your doctor, because farmers have cured diseases, and he always says diseases because that's what disease is. It's a dis-ease. You no longer feel ease. You're diseased. So your farmers smarter than your doctors because they cure these things through nutritional supplementation. Got mosquitoes out here. That's a bad thing about summer. It's the mosquitoes in a humid place like Oklahoma. And that's because the reason that farmers cure these things in their livestock is because animals are worth more when they're healthy. Humans are worth more when they're sick. And that's the sad truth about Western medicine, is we are worth a lot of money when we're sick. If we were never sick and never had to use the medical system, we would not have to spend money in the medical system. See, with humans have money, and we'll spend a bunch of money to help keep ourselves healthy. Or when we're sick, we will spend a lot of money to try to get well. But more often than not, it seems, at least with chronic illness, you never really get well. You just end up with less and less money. You may feel better, but you hardly ever get rid of problems with drugs, with just taking drugs. Usually what you end up doing is getting other problems later because of the drugs, which leads to another drug. Which is why we are more valuable sick than we are healthy. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm running out of light. I have to bring a lamp out next time I do this. The sun is setting. It's beautiful. All right. You have a good night. Let's make this another low-carb day tomorrow. It's evening where I'm at, so I'm going to wish you a low-carb day tomorrow.